Hello,
Hello.
how are you?
A-okay. Fan diddly doodly fantastic. Hey, that kind of sounded like
That's
Simpson's
fantastic.
neighbor.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
fantastic. Yeah, the diddly does it.
Yeah.
Speaking of diddly,
Uh-oh.
I was just going to see if you knew anything new about Puff Daddy.
Oh. Oh, I don't know if I want to know.
Do you seriously not know
What?
that he's in prison?
Is he actually?
Yeah, he has been for weeks.
Oh, I did not know.
Yeah, yeah,
Aw.
yeah. Oh, nothing. He's not a good dude.
Pedophilia or like
Sure, yeah, that's
women?
part of it. Yep,
Oh,
yeah,
seriously? Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Really?
Well, there's rumors that him and Usher and took advantage of Mr. J. Beebs. Oh, it's not good. No,
Justin
no.
Bieber?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah, yeah. J-Lo's involved.
J-Lo is,
Well, rumored to be. We'll see.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I loved Biggie. Do you think he would have been involved if he was alive?
Uh,
When he was alive?
who knows? At this point,
That'd be
everybody's pretty sure that Puff had him killed too.
really?
No, I don't. But
I was gonna say that wouldn't make sense, but
well, no, the Tupac one, they're pretty much blaming on him now.
well, Tupac,
Yeah.
yeah. East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the fact that Tupac called him out in a song and Puff Daddy doesn't have the emotional regulation to deal with it. So yeah,
But are you saying Sean killed Biggie
I don't know. At this point, I was making a joke that he probably did. I don't even know at this
or
point.
that he killed Tupac?
Yes.
Tupac makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, Tupac makes sense, but not Biggie.
No. Literally at this point, it's on the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. He's something.
Wow.
Yeah. Seems like every week there's a brand new list of charges being brought against him.
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
But I've seen it. I mean, I'm watching Morning Show right now, and it's all about this because it's like right around is it
Me
Me
too.
Too?
Yeah.
The Me Too movement. Yeah. But you see it, and I've experienced it. Like I remember being in a commercial right when it was first starting to happen years ago.
Yeah.
And a director, like just a commercial director, was like, "This is ridiculous." He's like, "So now I can't do this anymore." And the dude sitting next to him, he grabbed his crotch and like gave a little squeeze and was like, "And now I can't do this. And what's the big deal anyway?" And I was just like, wow, wow.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. There's a lot of really, I don't know if it's the creativity that breeds the broken people or the broken people gravitate towards it, but that industry seems to be just rife with it.
But it seems to be everywhere, just the whole.
The entertainment industry and celebrity
Well,
manufacturers.
I'm sure it's everywhere. It's just there in the public
Yeah,
eye.
probably.
So I'm sure that it's in a lot of places,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
That's why I don't leave home.
It's scary thinking about the world that we're bringing our children into.
It is.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting segue to today's question.
Okay.
As we head into the new year, into 2025, my question is,
Why don't we have flying cars yet? Seriously.
yeah, no, you took the words right out of my mouth.
I know.
Discuss. That's the next 25 minutes. Let's go.
I was promised flying cars by
By who? You
2025.
say that a lot, but who showed up at your door and went, by 2025, you'll be flying in a car, Missy? And you went, oh my goodness.
Well, when was Fifth Element made? Or like set in? What timeline?
Like 300 years from now.
Oh, I thought it was 2025. Well, Back to the Future was in the 2020s. They had flying stuff then.
Back to the Future was in like 86.
No, but but part two, when they're Back to
Yeah,
the Future
you're
future.
right. When they jump to the future, yeah, there's flying cars in Back to the
I'm
Future.
sure there's more than one movie where
This
2020.
raises questions for me about your ability to tell fantasy from reality.
I'm just saying, man.
I'm just saying. They do technically have cars that fly. They're just not ready for mass production or general public use.
Do they actually, or are they like hydro cars that need
No,
like,
like they've got stuff. They got jetpacks now,
yeah.
but it's military use. But they're pretty badass.
Hmm. That'd be cool.
No, it wouldn't. But you know why it wouldn't be?
Why?
Because I've gone to the Walmart parking lot and I've witnessed what people do with some of the most refined technology they've been given, and they're not responsible. They shouldn't be given any sort of jetpack or anything else.
Like what?
Well, when we got into the car to leave Heritage Park today,
Hmm.
there was a guy who was so badly parked. I assumed he had a stroke as he drove into the stall and just had to get out.
Oh, so using cars.
Yeah, so why would we give anybody jetpacks? Why would we let them levitate in the cars they can't operate on the ground?
It's watching on the lake this summer. There's some people with those water boards.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be pulled behind so they're like wakeboarding, but you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
need to
yeah.
be
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a water board jetpack thingy.
Yeah,
Oh man, it's hilarious watching them on it.
yeah,
Because they just jam themselves into the water.
they do.
It's
I could
hilarious.
watch people fall down all day long.
Anyways, sorry to sidebar.
No, that's fine. It really, every time you do that, it gives me a peek behind the curtain there. Powerful Oz.
What?
Nothing.
We should be better able to predict what's going to happen in the future. You would think.
At this point, I've got it pretty dialed in. It's going to be awful, is what my prediction is. And I've been right the past few years.
I know.
Did you hear about the CEO in Manhattan?
No.
You should look that story up. That was from this week.
What?
Uh,
CEO of what?
of a health insurance company out of the States.
Hmm.
So this company's worth, like its parent company's worth almost $1 billion. This guy's company's worth a few $100 million. He left his hotel, walked down the street, masked gunman stepped out from between two cars, shot him in the chest, killed him, and rode away on an e-bike, and has become a folk hero for doing it.
Why?
Because it's late stage capitalism. People have been pushed to the brink, so they have zero empathy for anyone that makes hundreds of millions of dollars on the suffering of others. That's the gist of it. But that's where we're at.
I
So
think,
that's why we don't have flying cars right there. There's no profitable margin in it.
yeah, I think we're gonna have a civil. Well, we will not have a civil war, but
You never know.
there probably will be.
Apparently, a ton of Albertans support Trump, so we'll see where that leads us.
It is unbelievable,
Yeah.
unbelievable how many people I've come across. I'm sorry if you listener are a Trump supporter. I just don't get it. But we're gonna have a similar government, I feel.
Yeah. Trump
Maybe not to his extent, but
Trump made a joke this past week that I personally don't think landed very well, but all the apologists are just saying it was a joke. But he told Justin Trudeau that if things didn't improve in Canada, I'm missing the setup, but basically, if things didn't improve in Canada, they could just become the 51st state.
wow.
Yeah. While sitting across from our prime minister, he made a joke about how the US could just absorb Canada as the 51st state.
Well, I knew we wouldn't be in a good spot with Trudeau if Trump won. And I think that's true.
Yeah. But as a follow up to that joke, to try and mend things, he posted an AI generated image of him being Trump, standing on a mountain with the Canadian flag beside him, staring at the Matterhorn. Because his team is so stupid, they don't know the difference between the Rockies and the Swiss Alps. So, anyways, that's what we're dealing with.
Well, that's funny.
Okay, my question.
Yes.
As we go into 2025,
Yes.
flying cars
Would be amazing.
notwithstanding, what do you feel as parents we can do to set a better example for our children going forward?
This is huge because I am working. Actually, it's funny because one of the questions I was going to ask was just around the rise of disrespect that we see. It was on like CBC or something recently that we're seeing in our students in schools. And I've been working with so many schools and they're like, we don't know what to do. I've never had students, like, especially teachers who've been teaching for a long time, or really it's, more people who've gone into administration and they're just gobsmacked with how children are talking and even racial slurs.
Mm-hmm.
It is unbelievable. And I'm really sad And I think this kind of ties in. So you had told me about the your body, my choice
Hmm.
hashtag that had happened. Well, I just found out last week that little boys, little elementary boys, are going into schools and doing things to girls, little elementary girls, and saying, your body, my choice. Like I've just got goosebumps. I'm just on the verge of tears. Like it's
Hmm.
unbelievable to know. I am gonna cry. Like it's just so sad that the world has come to this place. But it really does start with us, the parents. And I know, well, even if it didn't come out of your mouth, those kids are being exposed to stuff
Hmm.
on the screens that we're giving them. So, I mean, screens is just one thing, but I see just us modeling how we talk about other people,
Hmm.
how we talk about schools and teachers, right? And I know that we've had lots of conversations that, how teachers have can make or break
Hmm.
kids, but I understand that they're under a lot of pressure as well,
Totally.
right? And so like I think, yeah, just how, but we would never talk poorly or go treat a teacher poorly either, right? And I think for me, I really am worried about the world. And I never was. But this year, I've been so worried just seeing, even just, it's just been a really hard week because I've just got back from a speaking tour and the stories across Canada that I've been hearing about what's going on with some kids, not all kids, but with a lot of kids. And yeah, I think it comes back to parents. So, what do we need to model? I mean, it's something that we've talked about tons before. It's just be a good person, right? Like when we went to Heritage Park for the Christmas days, I
Hmm.
was actually, it was so nice because everyone was in the festive mood. They were holding doors, smiling.
Hmm.
I haven't experienced that in a long time.
Yep.
I think it's just that, right? How do we help each other? So, modeling gratitude and helping service, like go and help find. I know sometimes volunteering, we've tried to go volunteer at places that are structured and they're usually full and,
Yeah.
it's hard to get in, but that doesn't mean we just got to be civil and just modeling respect. And even in our own home, how can we talk with civility with our kids
Hmm.
without yelling at them? um, Parents, I'm always saying, parents, it's okay to fight in front of your kids, but it's about modeling good conflict resolution, not calling each other names and storming off,
Yeah.
right? Like, how do we manage conflict, debate, opinions with respect? I don't know. I've gone on a tangent, but
No, but I think that's it's all valid points. I think for me, yeah, it starts and ends with um we've commented a lot lately, and there is a there is a distinct sharpness and selfishness to how people collectively interact with each other now, right? That's not to say people aren't capable of it, because you do see points of it, but for me, there's there's an entitlement and there is a lack of, so use the word civility, which I think is a good one, that is pervasive across the board, right? And I can only speak to our part of the country, but in things that I've read online, it seems to be like there was some post online where a guy just took a picture of a black Dodge Ram that had an Edmonton Oilers, like an Alberta license plate, Edmonton Oilers license plate, and it was on a BC forum. And basically, his title was, "Oh, watch out, the typical like Albertan black Dodge Ram drivers." The type of comments that were there was mind-blowingly awful. Like literally, this picture showed nothing other than a guy driving in traffic. It wasn't speeding, wasn't doing it like it was literally just the back of a truck, perfectly in between the lines, could have been doing the exact speed limit, could have been doing 20 under for anybody new. The way these people spoke about Albertans as a whole, I'm like, wow. Like, and I don't understand where it comes from, but we've experienced it. Like during COVID, we experienced some interesting stuff with how BC people treat Alberta.
Well, even going to Radiant by myself, they're like back in so
They can't
people
see your
can't see
plates.
your plates because they're gonna ruin your car.
Yeah, and so to me, there's it starts and ends with being focused on being civil and be aware of what's going on around you so you can respond in a respectful manner. And I think to me, that's the biggest thing is I see people that are just so wrapped up in themselves and what they're doing that they don't know, they don't see that there's other people trying to do stuff around them. And so when they do, it's almost like they're shocked back into reality and they react defensively, right? They react poorly. So I think it does come down, like from a parenting perspective, is you got to ask yourself, what is it you want to show your kid that day? And in the moment, take a breath before you react and just see how you want to move forward. And by no means am I saying that I'm perfect at this. There's a lot of times that I react first and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
I know
But
I've been getting bad myself.
but when it comes to like one-on-one interactions or when I can, the amount of times that I will stop, I will wait for people to leave. Like perfect example, as you mentioned, holding the door. I had a different experience today because there was 3 times I stopped and I held the door and the person never even thanked me for stepping out of the way and obviously opening the door so they can come through. And in some cases, me saying, go ahead.
There was a time today, I think sometimes there's cultural differences maybe too. Maybe I shouldn't say that,
Well,
but
I mean, it could be, but at the same time, I can give people a pass when they're potentially just, lost in thought or whatever. But that's not what it is anymore, right? There's a selfishness and an aggressiveness and an entitlement that we as parents need to actively try and erase from ourselves because someone else getting something doesn't mean you're losing. And that has not been the case. And I find Canadians, and I talk to a lot of people in our demographic and our friend group and where they're they're selfish. They're just straight up selfish, right? They can't understand why they would have to be minorly inconvenienced for anyone else. And I don't understand that because without that, you're just losing, like, you're not teaching your kids that it's okay to just simply help someone by letting them be ahead of you, right? You're teaching them, you're reinforcing that screw you, get mine mentality. And I think that's a large degree. The other thing I would say as a resolution for 2025 is get rid of stuff. Get rid of the the amount of social media kids are seeing, get rid of the amount of times they're on phones, double down on not having any of that stuff in front of them, and stop justifying it as it's the only way for them to be able to stay connected to the world. Because frankly, the connection they have to the world is not good.
no.
And so celebrating the fact that these people need to be connected in a manner that is unhealthy, you reap what you sow, right? And so for me, that's a big one. I think there's stuff I can do personally to try and make sure that I'm modeling that better. And frankly, I think there's stuff that we can do as a family that reinforce that we're all getting too bad with it, right?
Yeah.
So just take stock of what it is that you're apologizing for or rationalizing or justifying and get rid of it if it's negative. Like a parent saying that they're worried that their kid is going to be cut off and be disconnected from their friends because they don't let them be on the phone or whatever. That's your fear of feeling like you're left out. That's your fear of being disconnected and being seen as a bad parent. At the end of the day, if your kid grows up emotionally well adjusted, they're going to find their own ways to have friends that are like minded and they're going to find ways around it. Right. And we as a collective need to figure out a way to stop the influx of negative stuff that's coming in. Because I think that's the number one thing is parents are exposed to all this negativity on their own social feeds. Kids are exposed to it on their social feeds. It manifests itself in a lack of civility and a lack of empathy for other people. And it just snowballs.
Yeah.
And it's just this cycle. So for me, the resolution as parents is identify and cut out what those negative streams are and I get made fun of all the time for being off grid, right? Because I'm not on this stuff and I don't really know. I know what's going on, but I don't actively seek it out. But I'm okay with that. And frankly, for 2025, I'm looking to figure out a way to go even less, right? Because
Hey,
it's
you
just,
can join my world. Ignorance really is a bliss.
it
I have
is.
no idea what about anything that's going on.
It is. But I think to me, that's an important piece. And then figuring out a way to focus energy elsewhere,
Yeah.
right? On more positive stuff because what people are focusing on right now is not good. And it's not any one thing, right? It is like I think back like when I think of growing up Canadian, I frame everything in people will hate this, but I frame everything in the way I saw the world growing up through the CBC,
Mhm.
right? And to me, there was this collective or there was this interest in the parts of Canada I didn't know and that I learned of from them. Like, and I can still pretty much verbatim sing Log Driver's Waltz
Oh yeah.
because of it, right?
Yeah.
But it's things like that that were so uniquely Canadian that we as a group have gotten rid of. Instead, we're focused more on these divisive us versus them tactics, which, I hear politicians talking about how they're going to defund the CBC. If they do, that's one more piece of being Canadian that I think is going to, frankly, in the long term, be a bigger detriment than letting it go. Because what we're doing is we're continuing to remove the pieces that show us the other parts of the country and show us how collectively we are one similarly minded unit. And instead, it will allow people to focus more on their individualistic, selfish, self-centered pursuits. And that to me is the number one thing. So as a parent, just take time over the holidays and really think about how happy are you with yourself? And if you think the world has gone to pot, like has gone down the tubes, what have you actually done to try and modify how you go through the world
Yeah.
and how you carve a place for your kids to go through the world? Because if all you're doing is letting them sit in the wake of how you're bashing people as you go through your day, get ready.
Well, I was talking about how, like, all week, Calgary was such a friendly place. Every time we would walk, everyone smiled and said hello every day, all the time. But it hasn't happened in like since 2016, I'd say,
No.
right? Like it's been a long time and it's just been getting worse and worse. And it's so sad when you go into a school or a doctor's office or anywhere, there's signs everywhere saying, please, no swearing. We're not going to take verbal abuse everywhere we go,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's just so sad. Why is there verbal abuse in a doctor's office, at a school, anywhere, really?
Well, and I think
Even though I know, like, I get so frustrated, but
but that's part of the other side of the coin, right? You have those signs up because those offices, schools, doctor's office, whatever, right? City, Calgary workers, doesn't matter who it is. They all
postal
have those signs.
office, yeah.
They all have those signs because every single one of them operates out of spite to the people that they're there to serve. And I mean that seriously. I just went through the healthcare system and every single interaction I've had was negative and left me bitter about it.
Well, I was coming at it from the fact that patients and parents and customers are getting upset with.
100%. No, no, I'm not dismissing that because you're
Okay.
absolutely right. They are. But what I'm saying is the people on the other side of that desk are in a position where they're not actually doing anything helpful, which is the cyclicality of it, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's true.
that's the part I was making.
Actually, on that note, yeah, I've been very frustrated dealing. Like, I love American Airlines,
Hmm.
to be quite honest. It's funny because as much as there's not greatness in the States, other than one airport, well, airport TSA is different. Oh, okay, I'll retract anything about that. But American Airlines is awesome.
Yeah.
They're super friendly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just thinking, Willow, our 13-year-old daughter was just on WestJet. I don't know if I can call them out, but I'm going to call them out. And they were rude to her. She was flying all by herself for the first time. She's flown by herself, but as an accompanied minor. So there's another WestJet employee who would take her. But this time she wanted to do it all by herself. So she did everything. And she She said every single one of them was rude to her.
Hmm. And noticeably, like it wasn't that she was intimidated. She said, because she told me about this on the way home, that the family in front of her in line for one of the attendants when she was waiting to check in, the attendant was joking and was having a good time and was interacting with them. And then as soon as that person cleared off and she stepped up to that same attendant and gave her information, she said they were rude. They were just indifferent. They didn't make eye contact. They barely spoke to her. They didn't say anything and they just told her to go, get going. Like,
Yeah.
that's a perfect example of why people are like every chance, like, and that's it, right? We can't control how we're being treated in the world. We can only control how we're treating others in the world. And I agree. Like, I hate dealing with companies. I hate dealing with call centers. I hate all of that. And it gets me wound up pretty quick. But I need to be aware of that and try and make sure that I'm not bringing that into every interaction, or else that's what my kids are going to see, right?
Mhm.
They don't see why I'm upset. They just see that I'm upset and they feel that it's appropriate. So,
One experiential thing that I think is good, especially if there's younger kids, is getting a ball and lobbing it against the wall, right? And you just say, okay, try to catch the ball. So throw it gently, right? And it's easy to catch. But now I want you to whip it against the wall. Can't catch it. So what you lob out there, you're more likely, there's no guarantee it's not going to come whipping back at you, but it's more likely it's also going to be lobbed.
yeah.
But it's just looking, and again, it doesn't matter what the other person's response, it's
How are
what
you going to
are
respond?
we going to do?
Yeah.
And so maybe it is, how can we start creating that for a family? I mean, everyone talks about how scared they are with their kids out in the world. Well, you're not giving them the opportunity. You're making everybody scary and mean, and you're doing that yourself. So smile to your neighbors, say
Yeah.
hello to your neighbors and strangers on the street, and talk to people in line when there's a long lineup. I mean, one of the things that I love doing is giving a chocolate bar. Like if we're at a grocery store and it's super busy and you can see that they're like trying to get everything through, they're getting stressed. I always buy them a chocolate bar,
Mm.
right? Just those little acts of kindness, but just hold your head up and smile and say hello.
Yeah.
Hold the door for someone.
Just take the 10 seconds, the less than a second it will be, to take the more civil route and watch how it changes everything.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
That's the resolution. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'm tired.
You look
So
exhausted.
it's been a heavy, well, I've been traveling
For
across North
weeks.
America since September. And I was in Georgia the day of the school
Hmm.
shooting. It's been heavy. It's been heavy just seeing everything
Hmm.
that's going down. But and
2025. That's the year we turn it around.
and this is it. Like this is what I come back to is just teaching our kids to be good people.
Yeah. It's, yeah. And it starts with
With
unplug
us.
them from the negativity.
Yep.
Show them how to do it in a way that they don't need that at all. Because nothing, the more I'm online, and I work in technology, but the more I'm online, the more it worries me.
Yeah. I don't even want to know. I go online to put out my nice little posts and say, "Hey, new podcast episode."
That's right.
I don't look at anything else.
Yeah,
I just
don't look. Don't pull the curtain back.
I will not.
All right.
Alrighty.
Good night.
Thank you. Good day.